Welcome back to the Microsoft AI Adoption Accelerator. This is episode 6, Prompt Literacy and Skill Building. So far, we have built the vision, the business case, the use case library, and the champion network. Each one matters, but there is a skill underneath every single one of them, and if your people don't have it, none of the other 4 will save you. That skill is prompt literacy. It is the difference between people who say, "I tried Copilot, it's fine," and people who say, "I cannot imagine doing this job without it." Today, we will pull that skill apart, look at how to teach it, and build the practice rhythm that turns novices into fluent users, at scale, in real jobs, in 8 hours of training spread over 30 days. Let's get into it. Quick recap. We have champions. They demo gold cards. They listen, they teach, they signal. But here is what every champion network discovers in month 2. Most users are still typing, "Summarize this" into Copilot, getting a mediocre answer, and concluding that Copilot is not for them. Without fluency, 3 things happen. People give up after one bad answer. They blame the tool. The AI got it wrong, instead of the prompt. And usage plateaus by week 3 at maybe 20% of the capability they paid for. With fluency, the same person sends a 5-part prompt the first time, refines the output instead of abandoning it, and quietly compounds their skill week over week. Same tool, same person, different literacy, completely different outcome. Here is the literacy gap in one number. Across thousands of Copilot deployments, the consistent pattern is this. About 80% of users plateau at roughly 20% of the capability they have access to. 80-20, the wrong way around. Without teaching, Copilot becomes a slightly faster Google. People paste in a question, copy the answer, move on. The whole product becomes a search box. With teaching, the same Copilot becomes a thinking partner. It drafts, critiques, restructures, role-plays, brainstorms, and refines. Same license, same person. The only variable is whether anyone taught them how to talk to it. This episode is about closing that gap, not with another boot camp, not with another cheat sheet, with a curriculum, a practice rhythm, and a literacy ladder you can run in any organization. Every reliable prompt has 5 parts. Memorize them, teach them, print them on the back of a badge. 1. Role. Tell the model who it is. You are a senior account executive. You are a finance business partner. You are a teacher writing for a Year 8 class. The role anchors tone, vocabulary, and assumptions. 2. Task. The verb, draft, compare, critique, summarize, outline, be specific. Draft a 1-page brief is a task. Help me with this is not. 3. Context. The data, the audience, the constraint. For our top 20 account review, this customer is in the energy sector. Contract renewal next month. 2 open issues. 4. Format. What good looks like. Bullets, table, 3 short paragraphs, a 150-word email. If you don't ask, you will get prose when you wanted bullets. 5. Examples. 1 or 2 samples of the kind of output you want. The single highest leverage thing you can add to a prompt and the most underused. 5 parts. If 3 of them are missing, the prompt will fail, and the user will blame the tool, not the prompt. Your job as the literacy program is to make sure they blame the prompt and know how to fix it. Let me show you what this looks like in practice. Same request, 2 prompts, the bad version. Summarize this and write an email. That is what most people type the first time they touch Copilot. No role, no format, no audience, no constraints. The output will be a bland 4-paragraph, vaguely corporate email. Useless. Now the good version. You are an account executive preparing for a contract renewal call. Using this account brief, write a 120-word email to the customer's procurement lead. Tone is friendly but direct. Format is 3 short paragraphs. End with 2 specific questions about their renewal priorities. 5 parts, 3 sentences, 2 minutes to write. The output is specific, on brand, and 90% of the way to sendable. Same model, same data. The only thing that changed is the prompt. This is the example you walk every new user through on day 1. Then you give them 5 more in their own role until they cannot unsee the 5 parts. Beyond the 5-part anatomy, there are 6 prompt patterns that show up in every high-performing user we have studied. Teach these as the second layer. 1. Persona. You are a CFO reviewing this proposal. The model adopts the lens. Use it for critique, gap-finding, and pre-mortems. 2. Step back. Before solving, ask, what kind of problem is this? Forces structure before content. Use it for ambiguous, multi-part requests. 3. Chain of thought. Think step by step. Or, better, list your assumptions, then your reasoning, then your answer. Use it for analysis, comparisons, anything where you need to check the work. 4. Few shot. Show 2 examples of input and output, then give a third input. The model pattern matches. Use it for any consistent format, meeting notes, status updates, regulatory comments. 5. Refine loop. Don't accept the first answer. Now make it shorter. Now make it more specific. Now soften the tone. Use it always. First answers are first drafts. 6. Skeleton. Give the model an outline or template. Here's the structure I want. Fill it in. Use it for anything where the shape matters more than the words. 6 patterns. 2 days of practice each, spread across 30 days. That is the skeleton of every champion's training plan. Underneath every prompt pattern is a 4-step learning loop. Try, inspect, adjust, reuse. Try, write a prompt, send it, get an output. Most people stop here. Inspect, read the output critically. What is wrong? What is good? Which sentence would I have written differently? This is the muscle most people don't have. They read the output the way they read an email, not the way they read a draft they own. Adjust. Change the prompt and try again. Refine the role. Add a constraint. Show an example. Reuse. And this is the step everyone skips. Save the prompt that worked. Name it. File it. Share it. Most users skip step 4, which is why their skill never compounds. The user who saves their 20 best prompts in a personal library is twice as productive in month 3 as the user who reinvents every prompt every time. The job of the literacy program is to make step 4 habitual. We will come back to this when we talk about the prompt library. There is a literacy ladder. 4 rungs. Find your population on it before you build a curriculum. Rung 1, spectator, has heard of Copilot, maybe tried it once, currently believes it is for engineers and marketers, not them. About 40% of most enterprises sit here. Rung 2, tinkerer, uses Copilot occasionally, one-line prompts, gets 50% of the value, about 35% of users. Rung 3, practitioner, uses the 5-part anatomy, knows 3 or 4 patterns, has a personal collection of prompts they reuse, about 20%. Rung 4, designer, builds prompts for others, authors gold cards, refines for the team, about 5%. And these are usually your champions. Your goal is not to turn everyone into a designer. Your goal is to move everyone up exactly 1 rung in the next 90 days. Spectators become tinkerers. Tinkerers become practitioners. Practitioners become designers. 1 rung, 90 days, repeat. The curriculum has 3 tiers: awareness, foundations, mastery. Awareness, 1 hour, all staff, mandatory or close to it. The message is simple. Copilot is for you, not just for engineers. The ladder, the 5 parts in 2 minutes, 3 live demos in 3 different roles, permission and a personal worked example to take away. Foundations, 4 hours, role-based, optional but strongly encouraged. The 5 parts in depth, 3 patterns, persona, refine loop, and skeleton are usually the right starter set. The 3 to 5 gold cards for that role family. A personal prompt library set up before the user leaves the room. Mastery, 8 hours, champions only. All 6 patterns. Prompt design for others. How to teach without lecturing. How to handle a colleague who says Copilot can't do my job. Total budget per champion is about 13 hours of training over 30 days. Total budget for everyone else is 1 to 4 hours. That is the whole program. It is much smaller than most adoption leads expect. The size is the point. Bigger curriculums never get launched. Training is the foundation. Practice is what turns it into skill. 4 practice formats. Every literacy program needs all 4. Promptathon, quarterly, 90 minutes. Mix teams across roles. Solve a real business problem with prompts. Best output wins. Sounds gimmicky, works brilliantly. Pair prompting, weekly, 30 minutes. 2 people, 1 screen, 1 prompt. The pair effect cuts learning time roughly in half. Same reason pair programming works. Champions facilitate at the start, then it becomes a peer ritual. Prompt clinic, monthly, 45 minutes, drop in. Bring your worst prompt, the one that is producing garbage, and a champion helps you fix it in front of the room. The audience learns more from the diagnosis than from a polished demo. And prompt library, always on, curated by champions, browsable by role. We will spend the next slide on this, because it is where most programs cut corners and pay for it later. The prompt library is where most adoption programs cut corners. Don't. 4 house rules. Tested, every prompt in the library has been run successfully at least 3 times in the role it claims to serve. No untested prompts. No, I think this might work. Tested, or it does not go in. Attributed, every prompt has the author's name, role, team, and last updated date. People trust prompts from peers in their own role. They ignore prompts attributed to the AI team. Versioned, when a prompt is changed, the version number goes up and the old version is archived, not overwritten. Otherwise, the next user will be debugging a prompt the original author has already fixed. Retired. Quarterly review. Prompts that have not been used in 90 days are flagged. Prompts that have failed twice are removed. Without retirement, the library becomes a graveyard in 6 months. And a stale library is worse than no library because it teaches people the wrong patterns. Tested, attributed, versioned. Retired. Print these 4 words above the door of your prompt library. 3 mistakes that kill prompt literacy. Mistake 1, the one-shot boot camp. We did the training in January. By March, retention is below 20%. By June, the people we trained have forgotten the 5 parts and the 3 patterns. Result, usage spikes for 2 weeks after the training and decays back to baseline. The fix is the practice rhythm. Pair prompting, prompt clinic, prompt library, not more training. Mistake 2, cheat sheet culture. We handed out the laminated prompt list. People have it. They don't read it. And when they do read it, they copy-paste prompts that don't fit their role, get bad results, and conclude that Copilot is not for them. The prompts have to be theirs. Written, tested, refined for their actual job. Cheat sheets cannot replace the 5-part anatomy. Mistake 3, hiding the prompt. The good prompts live in IT's notebook or in the head of one super user. They never make it into a shared library because nobody has the time to write them down. Result? Every user reinvents every prompt from scratch. Skill never compounds. The whole literacy program becomes one-to-one tutoring at organizational scale, which does not work. Surface the prompts, share the prompts, or accept that you will train the same skill 10,000 times. 3 takeaways. 1. Every reliable prompt has 5 parts: role, task, context, format, examples. If 3 are missing, the prompt fails and the user blames the tool. Teach the anatomy first. Everything else is layered on top. 2. 3 tiers in the curriculum. 1 hour for everyone, 4 hours for role-based foundations, 8 hours for champions. About 13 hours total per champion, 1 to 4 hours for everyone else. Anything bigger never launches. Anything smaller never sticks. And 3. Practice and the prompt library beat training every time. A promptathon, a weekly pair prompting session, a monthly clinic, and a tested library will build more fluency than any quarterly boot camp. Skill compounds when it is reused, not when it is taught. Coming up in Episode 7, Trust, Data, and Responsible AI, we have built fluency people can prompt. Now comes the question every CIO, CISO, and legal team is going to ask before scale. Can we trust this in our environment, with our data, in regulated workflows? Episode 7 is the practical version of that conversation. Not a compliance lecture, a working playbook for grounding, data boundaries, sensitivity labels, the human-in-the-loop patterns that hold up under audit, and the trust signals that quietly determine whether your rollout earns the second year of budget. If today's episode helped you see why most Copilot rollouts plateau at 20%, do me a favor. Subscribe, share it with the person who runs your training program, and join the 10-week journey. See you in Episode 7.